This is Christopher John Bjerknes. It is July 20th, 2023. I have a very hot topic for you all today. It is certainly destined to enrage many people, entertain many more, and hopefully enlighten everyone. I'm going to prove everything that I say. I'm going to be discussing the divine sexuality of the gods, their sexual intercourse with human beings. And again, I'm going to be providing the scripture and the exegesis from Kabbalah and other sources which prove what I say. I'd like to thank all the very considerate, kind, and generous people who contributed to make this video possible. They are concerned as I am about our fate in this world, and they want to help me to spread my insights and knowledge about these very important issues. Please don't get mad at me for covering this subject. Don't blame the messenger. Blame the nutcases who crafted all of this mythology, which is in fact very typical of ancient mythologies, which portrayed the gods as engaging in sexual relations with human beings to produce demigods and demons, etc. There's a whole demonological mythology built up around the idea of the succubus and the incubus engaging in intercourse with human beings, especially in their nighttime dreams, to produce demons. Well, let's start digging into it. It's a good one. So this is from Michelangelo's frescoes in the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo was a Kabbalist, and he incorporated many very esoteric Kabbalistic themes into his work. One of his more famous frescoes is the creation of the sun, moon, and plants. We have God's moon here, and we have the moon he created here, and the sun here, and the plants. There's a joke about the burning bush that I won't get into. The original painting is extremely explicit, so I was forced to put an X to mark the spot where Moses sees the glory of the Lord. The Lord is showing Moses the way to his glory, and they have a gay relationship that is told in Exodus chapter 33, verses 12 to 23. I'm utilizing the easy-to-read version, which states, Moses sees the glory of the Lord. Moses said to the Lord, "You told me to lead these people, but you did not say who you would send with me. You said to me, I know you very well, and I am pleased with you." Oh, he was very pleased with Moses. "If I have really pleased you, then teach me your ways. I want to know you." He knows them in the biblical sense. "Then I can continue to please you." And he gives him a lot of pleasure. "Remember that these people are your nation." The Lord answered, I myself will go with you. I will lead you." And he shows him the way. Then Moses said to him, "If you don't go with us, then don't make us leave this place. Also, how will we know if you are pleased with me and these people? If you go with us, we will know for sure. If you don't go with us, these people and I will be no different from any other people on the earth." So he wants to please God. Then the Lord said to Moses, "I will do what you ask. I will do this because I am pleased with you, and because I know you very well." Again, they know each other in the biblical sense about as intimately as it is possible. Then Moses said, "Please show me your glory." So God stripped bare God's glory. Then the Lord answered, I will show you my love and mercy to anyone I want to. So I will cause my perfect goodness. This is his perfect goodness. To pass by in front of you, and I will speak my name, Yahweh, so that you can hear it. But you cannot see my face. No one can see me and continue to live. That comes from Egyptian and Greek myths. In the Greek myth, it was Zeus, who used to make love to women, and he had to appear in the form of an animal because when he showed his face, it caused the women to die. So this act of concealing himself relates directly to the sexual act, and the fact that when the gods engage in the sexual act with human beings, they have to hide their face because their face is deadly to mortals. So this is very clearly depicting the sex act between God and Moses to anyone in the know. Then the Lord said, here is a place for you to stand by me on this large rock. This is the large rock. I will put you in a large crack in that rock. That needs no further explication. Then I will cover you with my hand, and my glory will pass by. Then I will take away my hand, and you will see my back. The word back in the original Greek, in the Septuagint, and in the Hebrew is plural, as in buttocks. And that is made more clear in the King James Version, but that's what it was clearly understood as, God's buttocks. But you will not see my face. Now this glory, well, I'll keep this G-rated for now. So that is the Bible describing the sexual relationship between Moses and God in the exact terms that the Greeks describe the sexual relationship between Zeus and females. Now I'm going to explain the fact that Jesus is Yesod, the tzaddik, the foundation and the righteous one, who is the phallus of God. In Kabbalah, God is represented by Tiferet, which is the sun on the Sephirotic tree of life. And just trying to clear the view. So this is the Sephirotic tree of life, which represents the emanations, which go down as a bolt of lightning. That is also considered the flaming sword in the Garden of Eden, which keeps human beings away from the Garden of Eden. And Tiferet is Yahweh's male aspect. Tiferet is the sun. Yesod is God's phallus. Yesod is the moon. Yesod is the righteous one. Yesod is the foundation. Yesod means foundation, but this Sephirah is also called Tzaddik, meaning the righteous one. And Malkut is God's female aspect, Shekinah, and she represents the kingdom of the earth. So in Kabbalistic mythology, when Yesod becomes aroused, it forms a pillar which enables the reunion of the androgynous Godhead, and the earth is raised to the sun through the agency of Yahweh's aroused phallus. And that aroused phallus is the Messiah, who is the foundation stone, the cornerstone of the temple, the rock upon which Israel and the world rests. And that is described repeatedly in the Bible as Jesus Christ. So this is absolute proof that Jesus is the phallus of God, is Yesod on the Sephirotic tree of life. So Tzaddik, Yesod is also called Tzaddik, is the righteous one, and Yesod is the foundation stone, and both of those are frequently referred to in Kabbalah as the Messiah, which indicates that Jesus is the phallus. The New Testament repeatedly refers to Jesus as the righteous one, the tzaddik. Jesus is the righteous tzaddik. For example, 1 John chapter 2, verse 1 says, "My little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous." That advocate is Tzaddik, Yesod, on the Sephirotic tree, which is God's phallus. Jesus is referred to frequently in the New Testament as the foundation, as the rock, as the cornerstone of the temple. And there are also Old Testament passages which foreshadow this depiction of the Messiah in this way. And the foundation is Yesod. And Yesod is also Tzaddik, and it is the 9th Sephirah, which is the phallus of the Lord. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11 says, "For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid," no pun intended, "which is Jesus Christ." So Jesus is the foundation, Yesod, the phallus. And this Yesod in Kabbalistic iconography is always portrayed as the groin of Adam Kadmon. And it's very clearly understood that the Israelites on Friday night are to make love to their wives in order to stimulate Yesod, so that Tiferet elevates Malkut, the male aspect of God, elevates the female aspect of God for the world to come in their androgynous unity, which is brought about by the Messiah and by the phallus, which is the Messiah. Another very interesting painting that Michelangelo did in the Sistine Chapel is Adam and Eve being tempted by Lilith and Samael, the serpentine aspect of the Godhead. Lilith is depicted as being the twin sister of Adam, because in Kabbalah, Lilith is made from the same clay as Adam. She was Adam's first wife, but she resented the fact that Adam always lay on top of her and asserted that she was his equal, and this was the birth of Kabbalistic feminism. So again, we have this concept of the gods mating with human beings. In Kabbalah, Lilith Samael sleeps with Eve, which is Adam's female aspect, to produce the child Cain. And that is described in the Bible, not in the exact terms of the Gnostics and the Kabbalists, but there's a very key phrase at the end of it. "And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord." That Lord is the angel of the Lord, who is Lilith Samael. Lilith Samael, the succubus and incubus. Incubus also slept with Mary to produce Jesus. And Jesus, according to the Kabbalists, bears the soul of Cain and is the reincarnation of Cain through Esau, who was also the reincarnation of Cain. Matthew chapter 1, verse 18 says, "Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise. When, as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. Similar passage is found in Luke, and this shows that the Holy Ghost had sex with Mary to produce Jesus. So we have the gods engaging in sexual union with human beings to produce demigods and demons. The book, The Hebrew Goddess, by Raphael Patai, describes the fact that Yesod is the foundation and is the phallus of God. The feminine Sabbath is, moreover, mystically identified with the Shekinah, or the Sephirah of kingship. That's Malkut at the very bottom, the 10th emanation. Well, the male Sabbath is Yesod, meaning foundation, or Tiferet, beauty. That's actually Yahweh's male aspect, i.e. the male aspect of the deity. Since the Shekinah is also identified with the community of Israel, in this manner the Shekinah becomes the bride or mate of the Sabbath Yesod, which is Tiferet's phallus. At some time during that meal or following it, the husband chanted another mystical Aramaic poem written by Isaac Luria and describing the union of God the King and his bride, the Shabbath Shekinah. God the King is the male aspect of the Godhead. Shekinah is the female aspect of the Godhead. The male aspect is Tiferet. Shekinah is Malkut, the earth, the female aspect. And the sun is reunited with the earth through the agency of Yesod, which is the moon, the Messiah, and the phallus. Her husband embraces her, and with her Yesod, which gives her pleasure. He presses her mightily. Time of the coupling of the matronet. The matronet is Malkut, Shekinah, the female aspect of God. Hold fast to my covenant means that they hold on to that part of the Godhead which carries the sign of the Abrahamic covenant, the Sephirah of the Yesod, which stands for the masculine member, and through which the king unites with the matronet. So they grab fast onto the masculine member, which is circumcised. This is the, I'm sorry. This is the daring simile. Yesod, foundation, one of the 10 Sephirot, corresponds to the penis in the human body. It is said to be hers because it is through it that God unites with his bride, the Sabbath Shekinah. And when they unite, they become androgynous again, as Adam was in the beginning. Adam was created in the image of the gods as an androgynous being. He had a male and a female aspect that were later cut apart. Raphael Patai continues, yet another version, still preoccupied with the times of divine copulation, speaks not only of a weekly, but of an annual cycle. Every year, we are told, the people of Israel sin with tragic inevitability, which enables Samael, the Satan, or Azazel, to bend the matronet to his will. Samael is the male aspect of Satan. The Kabbalists understand that ultimately Samael and Yahweh are the same being. They are just different aspects perceived either through the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Patai is explaining the Kabbalistic belief that when the temple was destroyed, Yahweh and Shekinah, who slept in the bedchamber and were androgynous, were separated. Shekinah became the Israelites, followed them into the exile, and kept them under her wing to protect them. But after that happened, the Godhead Yahweh now sleeps with Lilith, the female aspect of Samael, and Samael sleeps with Shekinah, the female aspect of the Godhead. So the male aspect of Satan sleeps with the female aspect of the Godhead, and the female aspect of Satan sleeps with the male aspect of the Godhead. Samael, in the form of a serpent, or a riding serpent, lurks at all times near the privy parts of the matronet of Shekinah, in the hope of being able to penetrate her. Whether or not he succeeds in thus gratifying his desire depends on the conduct of Israel. As long as Israel remains virtuous, which they evidently never do according to the Kabbalists, Samael's lustful design is frustrated. But as soon as Israel sins, as they, alas, are bound to do year after year, their sins add to Samael's power. He glues himself to the matronet's body with the adhesive force of resin and defiles her. Once this happens, the matronet's husband, the king, departs from her and withdraws into the solitude of his heavenly abode. This unhappy state of affairs, literally affairs, continues until, on the Day of Atonement, the scapegoat, which is destined to Azazel, that's the devil, is hurled to its death down a cliff in the Judean desert. Samael, attracted by the animal offered to him, it should be noted that the Israelites give a sacrifice offering to Satan every year, which scapegoats the Gentiles for the sins of the Israelites, let go of the matronet, who thereupon can ascend to heaven and reunite with her husband, the king. So part of the scapegoat ritual, which pins the sins of those sinful Israelites on the non-Israelites in the heavenly court, also serves to reestablish the androgyny of the Godhead of Israel and reunite Shekinah and Yahweh, and effectively reunite Samael and Lilith and restore proper order to the universe for the world to come. Well, thus, the Zohar and the later Kabbalists, who were influenced by it, attribute God's degradation through coupling with Lilith, that's Yahweh, the male aspect of God, sleeping with the female aspect of Satan, Lilith, to the cosmic consequences of the destruction of the temple. The pre-Zoharic Gnostic Kabbalists, such as Moses of Burgos, placed the same divine fall in the very days of creation. For, they maintained, just as on earth below, Lilith and Samael procreated demons and spirits with Adam and Eve, so in the upper realm, a spirit of seduction issued forth from Lilith and seduced God the King, while Samael managed to have his will on the Shekinah. So they believe that the male aspect of God sleeps with the female aspect of Satan, and the male aspect of Satan sleeps with the female aspect of God. They also believe that Esau and Jacob sleep with the female aspect of God to produce the Messiah, son of Joseph, and the Messiah, son of David, and that is explained in this Sefer HaMeshiv. The matronet, Shekinah, was the wife of Jacob and Moses. Lilith was the wife of Adam and Cain. The matronet was also the wife of God, her wedding with him having been signified by the dedication of the Temple of Jerusalem, Solomon's Devil Temple. Lilith, too, became the wife of God at the hour that same temple was destroyed. Both of them were also enjoined carnally by Samael the Satan, the matronet each time Israel sinned, and Lilith when the blind dragon arranged a union between them. The blind dragon is Samael, the blind god. Another very important source which provides the phallic image of Yesod, the pillar of the Messiah, who is the foundation and the righteous one. This is kind of a Kabbalistic work, Sefer HaBehir, the Book of Illumination, and it is attributed to Rabbi Nehuniah ben Hakana, translated by Ariah Kaplan. 102. We learn there is a single pillar extending from heaven to earth, and its name is righteous, tzaddik. This pillar is a very phallic image, is named after the righteous. When there are righteous people in the world, then it becomes strong, a strong pillar. That's the pillar of Moses. And when there are not, it becomes weak. It supports the entire world, as it is written, and righteous is the foundation of the world. If it becomes weak, then the world cannot endure. Therefore, even if there is only one righteous person in the world, it is he who supports the world. That's also talked about in the Talmud, I think in Sanhedrin 97 or 98. It is therefore written, and a righteous one is the foundation of the world. You should therefore take my lifted offering from him first. Then Exodus 25:3, and this is the lifted offering that you should take from them, from the rest. What is it? Gold, silver, and copper. Sefer HaBehir 157. What is the eighth one, the blessed one? The blessed Holy One has a single righteous one, tzaddik, in his world, and it is his male member. And it is dear to him because it supports all the world. It is the foundation, Yesod. Again, the ninth Sephirah is called Yesod and alternatively called tzaddik for this reason. This is what sustains it and makes it grow, increasing and watching it. It is beloved and dear on high, and beloved and dear below, fearsome and mighty on high, and fearsome and mighty below. Rectified and accepted on high, and rectified and accepted below. We could see in the painting in the Sistine Chapel where it was accepted below. It is the foundation of all souls. Yes, it is the fountain of all the seed. Did you then say that it is the eighth? And do you say that it is the foundation of all souls? Is it then not written, Exodus 3:17, and on the seventh day he rested and sold? Yes, it is the seventh. This is because it decides between them. There are 6, 3 below and 3 above, and it decides between them. This all relates to the 7 days of creation and the 8th day of shining darkness. Sefer HaBehir 193. And what is the meaning of the verse? Genesis 49:24. From there is the shepherd, the rock of Israel. The shepherd, the rock of Israel, is the Messiah. From there is nourished the rock of Israel. What is the meaning of from there? We say that this supernal righteous one, tzaddik. What is it? It is the precious stone called socheret, and the stone that is below is called dar. And what are the rays mentioned in the verse? Habakkuk 3:4. He has rays from his hand. These are the 5 fingers of the right hand. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Moses slept with God, who is bisexual. God sleeps with Satan in the form of Lilith and in the form of Samael. God has a dual nature, kind of like the buttocks. He is both male and female, androgynous. He is both God and the devil, and he engages in kind of an incest of sorts. There are other words I could use to describe it. And his phallus is the Messiah, which is the foundation and the righteous one and the rock and the cornerstone of the temple. And that is Jesus Christ. I would yet again like to thank the very helpful, very considerate and concerned people who want to help me to spread these facts out to the world, get this stuff known, wake people up to what's going on and what is planned. Without your help, I couldn't have done it. I am eternally grateful to you, and I'm doing my best to do the best with what you have given me. And those who would like to contribute, you can contribute at my website, CJBBooks.com. Beneath each book title, there are contribution links. There will also be contribution links in the description below. Again, thank you so much, good, kind, generous people. I need it, and without your help, I could not have done this. Please also help to spread the word. Like, share, and subscribe, as they say. And I will see you next time. Probably not with something so racy or interesting as this, but I'll be back. Bye for now.